So, I've never really felt this conflicted while watching a Boruto anime arc. I mean, for the most part, my views are pretty much clear and consistent. What I like, what I dislike. So far, I've watched nearly every single episode of the Boruto anime, be it filler, be it anime canon or manga canon. And because of that, I have clear ideologies and clear understanding of what I like, what I dislike. There are arcs in the Boruto anime which I hate, absolutely hate from the bottom of my heart, and at the same time, there are arcs which I really like a lot. But I can't really give that particular definition or that particular clear-cut understanding in this ongoing hit and miss arc because I'm just feeling conflicted. Because on one hand, one of my major criticisms of the Boruto manga has been that the story is not really focusing on the side characters and it's not developing the story in a coherent way, in a coherent narrative that just gives a overall wholesome growth. That has been lacking from the manga. It's just a Boruto and Kawaki show sprinkled in with some Naruto and Sasuke content, just that's it, nothing more than that. So this has been a consistent complaint of mine for the Boruto manga, and this is pretty much something which everyone has talked about. And that's when the anime really comes in, because this is a weekly anime adapting a monthly manga. So the difference is quite obvious here in terms of the story pacing and story narrative. Anime canon, whether we like it or not, is necessary in this particular regard in order to flesh out the overall story. There have been some really good anime canon content, and I know that a lot of people do not like the word anime canon, and it might be pretty much a cop-out by the writers to avoid the fillerish hell which the Naruto Shippuden series beared, because a lot of fans hated the filler content. But it is what it is with the Boruto anime, or rather the Boruto series. We know that this series is monthly and it's not going to change anytime soon into a weekly series. So the anime content, or rather the anime canon content, is going to continue. But the current arc, it's quite a weird juxtaposition overall, specifically with terms of pacing and its overall placement in the story narrative. To be very frank with you, I just don't care about these characters. I know that's where my conflict originally comes from, because I've said that the manga doesn't really develop the side characters, and now here I'm saying that I don't really care about these side anime characters. Well, that's the problem here, because the anime has not been able to consistently build up these characters. They are here just for the sake of this particular arc, and my caring for them is not just going to build up for these characters in just these last 20 episodes or something like that. And mind you, this is a long arc. This is a really long arc, and seemingly there's no end to it. It's just one setup episode after the other, and I don't know if the finale is going to deliver that much or not. I mean, sure, the finale might be good. There are major indications for the finale to be actually good, but are all of these setup episodes actually worth it? Now, a major counter to this particular argument is that the other arcs, for example the Kawaki arc, the Kara actuation arc, and all of these other arcs are much longer than this particular arc, and I understand that and I agree with that as well, because those arcs had major manga content sprinkled into them, obviously barring the Mitsuki arc, but they had major manga content sprinkled into them, and they had their stakes, they had their overall place in the world which was necessary for the story to progress. But rather here for this particular story, or rather this particular arc, it's just there for the sake of being there. It just feels like a placeholder until the manga does some more content, and after that we are going to catch up to the code arc. That's the only thing which is happening here for me personally. I mean, I'm watching these episodes, but I'm not really a huge fan of them. Again, sprinkled into them are some really good stuff, but the placement of it just is outrageous, and it's just a major problem with all of these things. And this is not just a problem related to the Boruto series. This is something which I felt with My Hero Academia as well, specifically around season 4 and the ending of season 5, when a show introduces godlike characters and absolutely highest stakes possible. It's just no way going back from there. In the previous arc, which focused upon the Ishiki Otsutsuki battle, it was just the peak of everything. It was just such a huge deal, and from there we are coming back to the hidden mist, and the stakes are basically absent here, and this doesn't really feel like a coherent story narrative. Again, the proper counter to this would be that a story needs a breather time, a laying low moment for the next bigger conflict to arrive, and that is true. But here in this particular story narrative, there's no need, or rather there is no time for a breather moment, specifically how Code essentially wants to destroy everything. He wants to go after Kawaki. And talking of Kawaki at the very end, how is this even possible? I mean, I understand with how they're trying to focus upon Kawaki's shinobi aspect, and that is going to lead into the time skip when he says that the world of shinobi, the era of shinobi is finally over. They need to give him some aspects of the shinobi era or the shinobi world to experience it firsthand and then go after it. But this is just not a good overall understanding or a good overall placement of this particular picture, because how the hell was Kawaki allowed out of the village in the very first place? And I'm not really ready to hear some bullshit explanation that he sneaked out or he somehow managed to convince the people of Konoha, the authoritative people of Konoha, that yeah, it's going to be alright, specifically with how Boruto is by his side. That's just a lame explanation overall, considering the status of Kawaki and how he's being sought after by Code, Ada and the other characters. So honestly, I don't know, I'm just feeling so conflicted about this entire arc. On one hand, like I said before, I really want the anime to develop the characters, but at the same time, these are not the characters which I even care about. If, like, it's just a theory out there for y'all, if this particular arc was a juxtaposition of various different elements, like in some episodes we are focusing solely upon the hidden mist, but at the same time we are going back to say something like Naruto Sasuke and seeing the authoritative side of Konoha and seeing what they are up to, at the same time talking about Sasuke as well, because for the most part he was absent in the manga and he has just arrived back in the manga right now. If we see some moments of what exactly Sasuke was doing, how he was trying to find these other characters instead of just making it one single arc, it would have been much better. Like, show real-time events instead of just focusing on one particular incident at the very same time. The stakes are really high right now. It's not just a plaything anymore. These are very dire times and they really need to show this particular uneasiness which has been built up from the previous arc. The main issue, the main letdown of this ongoing arc is that it's not taking the advantage of the level set by the previous arc. And lastly, I just need to talk about Boruto for a moment. I know the major thing about this entire arc, about how he's refusing to use his karma. And okay, I kinda understand his ideology behind it, that he is afraid, or rather he's not sure about using the power-up which caused so much harm to his sensei. That's understandable. But the problem here is that this arc, it's just not able to showcase it properly. Couple of weeks back, I saw on Twitter that the writer or the director of this particular arc has said online that they are actually trying to showcase why Boruto is not using his karma. But I feel like instead of just talking about it on Twitter, they should have actually shown it in the actual arc. It's just not visually shown to the viewers, or it's not just being shown to the viewers properly that okay, this is Boruto's mentality or point of view at this particular moment. It's a different concept whether I believe it or not, because in the very next arc he's just using it against Code. But the issue here remains that Boruto, specifically after the incident with Momoshiki, specifically after he defeated Momoshiki, Boruto's resolve has been top-notch. He's ready to do whatever needs to be done from that very moment onwards. He was ready to give up his life. He was ready to basically sacrifice himself for the sake of others. And in this particular concept, in this entire narrative, he would be just backing off from this power when he could use it for the betterment of the people. That's just a lame explanation to raise the stakes of this particular arc. So overall, I'm just feeling really conflicted about it. There are good episodes, obviously, I'm not denying it, and at the same time, it is sort of referenced in the manga, so obviously everyone is saying that hey, this is manga canon. I don't know, I feel like this is still pretty much anime canon, not a manga canon. And lastly, I guess that the finale of this arc is going to be good, so maybe a lot of people are going to forget these complaints, but it is what it is. The Boruto anime is definitely a lacklustrous experience. It is definitely very good when it has these good couple of episodes, but the rest of the times it's just like, I don't know, meh. But pretty much that's it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. What do you guys feel about this particular arc? Please let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. So that's it for today. See you all in the next one. In the meantime, be sure to like, share and subscribe to the channel, join the channel membership and join the Discord server for more. I'll see you all on the next one.